We are about to begin the holiday of Passover. This holiday, as you know, focuses on a plague passing over. In the late winter and early spring of 2020, we understand better than perhaps we've ever before how we hope, pray, and act for something to pass over. It is a scary thought. With the outbreak of COVID-19, we have areas of coordination where we can limit risk to ourselves and those around us. But when up against a microscopic deadly foe, we hope and pray for it just to pass over. There are two words in Hebrew that are used when God passes through the Egyptian or the Israelite camps in the story of Passover. These words are Avar and Pesach. We may very well know the word Pesach as it became the Hebrew name for the holiday of Passover. Both in the Hebrew and in the English, this event of passing over became that central element of the story. Enough so that our holiday is called that event, Pesach. Avar is used when God passed through the Egyptian camp. People were killed when Avar is used. People are saved when Pesach is written. The way that these words are used show different results, and in my opinion, Avar is passive and Pesach is active. There is an action that must be done for there to be a Pesach. In the Torah, the way for that to happen was through sacrifice. For today, that is no different. Now, I'm not advocating everyone go find a lamb and sacrifice it, as we hear in the story. However, there are many personal and social sacrifices we must all make to protect ourselves and the community around us. It is a sacrifice to be confined to our homes. It is a sacrifice to continue paying for things that we can, but we may not be using for the foreseeable future. And it is a sacrifice to alter our lives, not to take up space, but to try and be as small as possible, so we're not at risk of taking services for others who may need it more. This year, that is the Passover sacrifice. Another change from the Passover story is that we are not grouped into camps. We are all in this together. We must recognize where the most vulnerable in our communities are and work to keep those groups safe. Whatever caused that vulnerability is not important, but just as the Israelites came through that night, we must act for all in our communities. This will pass, just as the phrase implies, but it is up to us to bring in that miracle of Pesach so we can pass through this pandemic with as minimal deaths as possible. And we begin to pass through to Pesach, knowing that our medical workers are heroes, sacrificing so much to keep the country and our world safe. We pass through this pandemic knowing who is an essential worker and restructuring our pay scales to recognize that. We pass through this pandemic as one community, each of us doing our part for the health and safety of all. Thank you, and Chag Pesach Sameach.